Hello Year 4, welcome to our online art lesson. Today and next week we're going to be doing a lovely picture, and it's going to be our version of a lovely artist called Margaret McKee. She paints plants and leaves and all things like that. So we're going to do our own version of her painting today, and then we'll sketch it today. And then next week, we'll colour it in. We'll use our colouring pencils to get all that colouring. So, get your paper ready. Get just your normal drawing or writing pencil ready, because that's all we need today. And maybe a rubber. I've got a special rubber here. But you can just get your normal rubber, because we'll use a rubber as well. Now, if you have a look at my paper today, it's long ways that way, and if you remember, that's called portrait. So get your paper in that orientation and we'll begin. So this painting that we're going to do today, that Margaret McKee has done, it's a flower, and it's got beautiful leaves to it, long leaves, and it's got a special shape to it as well. And it's a flower that you find in the jungle, and it's made up of reds and purples, and then the leaves are green. So next week we'll get some colouring, but just for today we'll get our sketching so we're ready for next time to be able to colour it in. So let's make a start. Now the main part of the flower, we're going to kind of zoom into the flower on our picture. So the main part of the flower is kind of a bit similar to a banana shape. If you think about how a banana is slightly curved, isn't it? But we don't want it too curved. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line somewhere here. Now when you do this shape, try not to press too hard, because later on we're going to rub it out. We don't want that line. So try not to press too hard. I'm going to have to press a bit harder so you'll be able to see it. But when you do yours, try not to press too hard, because then we won't see in the final picture. So I want this flower to be somewhere in the middle here, in the middle of my paper. And it will start about here, at the tip will be there. And then it will come round and it will end somewhere maybe about here. So I'm putting a dot there as well. So I've got a dot where the tip is, and I've got a dot where the bottom is, where the end is. Now I've left some room for the leaves underneath, because we're going to put some leaves. So what I'm thinking now is that curved shape. I'm thinking about that nice curved shape. So I'll start at the tip, and like I said, try not to press too hard, because we are going to be rubbing this out later. I'm putting in a curved shape, just like that. Okay. Now, like I said, the tip is going to be up here, so I'm just going to put a bit of a round tip on the top, and then this is going to come a bit curved, not quite as curved as that maybe, and then it will come down and it'll get a bit thinner on the bottom. So we've started off like a banana shape, but this side is a bit flatter. Look, it's not quite as curved as that at the other side. So I'm bringing it round, and I'll stop about there. So I've got a bit of a curved shape, bit of a curve, but that one's a bit flatter, isn't it? But it's got a bit of a round shape on the bottom. Now that's my start. Now, I want you to think about leaf shapes, just normal, flat, long leaf shapes. So in this gap here, if you notice I've left a gap, I'm going to put a bit of a leaf shape, look, just like that. Now I've got my start now. So this is going to be the edge of the flower itself. So next to this leaf, I'm going to put another curved shape. I'll touch that. I'm not going to start from the top, on the side, a curved, and another leaf shape. Now, I'm going to do another one on the edge, because this line is the edge of one of these shapes. So if I do another leaf shape, I'll make sure it touches that edge there, and I'll join it up to there. Now this side, let's come in this side, I'll put a leaf shape, just like that, there. Now let's come up a bit more, let's do one that comes up about there. So it's just like a leaf shape, look. Let's do another one. Now, can you see I'm not putting them too close together? I'll put another one maybe there, but they're not too close together because in between we're going to put some tiny ones, exactly the same shape, but tiny ones. But let's come off this one like we did with that one. Let's come off the side and let's put a leaf shape, just like that. Now we want to make sure that this line has a leaf on it because it comes up to the edge. So let's put a leaf there. And let's put a leaf on here. Look, it comes up to that edge that we drew earlier on. And let's do that. Let's do another one. Let's put a leaf shape there, look. Let's put another leaf shape there. And they're quite big, these leaf shapes are. They're not too small. We will get some smaller ones in afterwards. Let's get a leaf shape that touches the edge of that line again, look. Let's get another one in that comes off that one. Let's get another one in that comes off that one. Now let's get one that comes in off the edge. Look, I'm starting on the edge this time. And let's get a big one in there. Might not necessarily touch that one. Let's get one in there that touches that one. I've got some gaps, look. Make sure you leave some gaps. Then let's put another one in there. Now I'm getting quite high up, look. I'm nearly to the top. So I've got to start thinking about that this shape that I'm drawing now is going to get slightly smaller as I get near the top. So I've got that shape there. Let's put in that shape there. Now I'm going to go smaller, just a bit smaller. Let's put that in there. So I'm putting in all these leaf shapes, just a pointy top and a round bottom. A bit like a raindrop as well. It reminds me a bit of a raindrop. So they are getting smaller, and then as I get to the top, they are getting smaller and smaller. Now, I need some on the edge here. Look, we need to put some on the edge. There's one edge, and I've got an edge there that I could put a little one in there. And I could fit a little one in there as well. So I'll put one in there as well. Now, let's put one here, just that comes off there. And let's put one in there. So we've got some there as well. Now the top, let's have one that comes out from that top, just like that. Let's have another one that comes out like that. And maybe one that comes out there. So there was my round edge. I've brought some of those petals out from the top as well. Now I can see that some of these petals are on the edge and I haven't got too much of a line without anything in. So now those are the big petals of that flower. Let's get the smaller ones in. So I'm doing exactly the same shape, but I'm just making them small. I'm just doing kind of like brackets. Look, if you think about brackets in English when we're doing English. So I'm just doing little shapes. So one side, then the other side, one side, then the other side, one side, then the other side. And I'm filling in most of these gaps where the big leaves are with these small shapes. So I'll keep going. I'll fill in these with these small shapes. If you've got large areas, you can put a larger leaf, a larger petal, sorry. Okay, so I'm fitting in these smaller shapes that are a bit similar to that. They're just long blobs, if you like. Okay, and go right to the edge. Make sure there's no gaps on the edge because we don't want to. We want this edge to be filled with either a petal or a small petal. Okay, so I've coloured pretty much all that in. I've filled all that in with small. If there's not a large petal there, there'll be a small petal. Be a small shape petal. Okay, I think I've filled pretty much that in. Okay. So all it is just a left and a right, a left and a right. Now let's fill some of this in. Oh, we've got a gap there. Look, I could fit a big one in there. Now, down the bottom of this flower, we've got long leaves, longish leaves. So let's get a leaf that comes up, and it's quite long, and it comes down. So it's a similar shape to that, but just a bit longer and a bit thinner. And we can take that down to there, and we'll leave a gap. And then I'll put a line across, because this is where another leaf's going to come up. So we'll do a long leaf. So it's thin, and then it gets a bit wider. Let's do another one. Let's do one that comes out. Oh, this one's a long one. So it gets a bit wider down the bottom. Now, I'm going to put one that looks like it's drooping in front of us. So if I draw a line that comes across, and then I'm going to draw a line that comes out and down and wiggles. So I'm going to follow that, but it's going to get thinner and thinner as I get to the end. There we are. Let's do another one. So this one will be flat on there, and it will wiggle out and down. So it'll be wider there, and then it'll get thinner. There we go. And I'll put another one that maybe comes out there, a thinner one. Okay. Let's do some more over here, shall we? So I could put one that leans this way. So I'm thinking about that line there, and I'm taking a line that comes out and down and round. So let's do it from here, be wider there, and then it'll get thinner and thinner and thinner. Let's do another one that comes up this way. So it comes down and up that way. So it's wider there, and then it'll get thinner and thinner and thinner. Now, let's do Margaret McKee. What she does, Margaret Mee, sorry, she puts in other leaves and she puts in trees in her background. So let's do a nice tree in this background here. We want our focal point to be this plant, but we want a tree here. So where you've got your leaf, tell you what, we'll start one side of the leaf, this long one that you did earlier on, and we'll come up with a trunk of a tree, and we'll come out. So the tree, this is actually in front of that tree. Don't make the tree too big, it's in the distance, it's not too wide. Bring that up. And then let's turn that into a branch. So I just did a line that comes down and up. So we've got a bit of a V shape. Let's put another branch here. This will be a slightly thinner branch. Let's put another branch that comes out from the side here. So that branch will be slightly thinner. Let's put another one that comes out here. If you have a look, my branches aren't very straight, are they? We want them a bit wiggly. Let's put another one that comes out from here. So the artist, Margaret Mee, she did lots of, it's called Botanical Studies. When you draw plants and leaves, it's called Botanical Studies. So she did lots of paintings of plants and flowers from all over the world. So there's our tree. What we'll do is we'll just put a few lines in as well. A few wiggly lines, look, to show that that's bark on the tree. Just gives us a bit of texture to that tree then. Okay, so we're just putting, I'm not going over that leaf because that's important to us. No. I'll just put a few little lines in those branches as well, but not as much as in there, just a few little shorter lines. There we go. And that gives it a bit of more of a tree look because we've got a bit of texture going on. Right, let's have a look. Let's go back to these leaves down here. Can we do any more leaves? I think you've got a bit of a gap here. If you've got a bit of a gap, you can put a smaller leaf in because they all won't be the same size. So I'll put a smaller one in there. Maybe one last one that's maybe coming down here, a smaller one that's coming down there. Okay. And I think for today, that's it for the sketching. Now remember that outer line that we drew at the beginning. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my rubber and I'm just going to lightly rub out, and this is why I didn't want you to press too hard. Lightly rub out if there's any lines that it doesn't join up with a petal. If the edge of the petal's there, we don't want to lose that. But if there's a line where there's no petal edge, then I'm going to rub it out. So let's have a look how that looks now. There we go. Because what we wanted was just that shape. We didn't necessarily want to see a hard line. Now, if you accidentally rub out some of your edge of the petals, that's fine. You can just go over them. And let's get in a bit of that there. So now the petals are the edge of the plant. We haven't got a definite line there anymore. I think I'm happy with how this looks now. Just making sure that these petals join up to make sure that that gives that shape. I think I'm happy with that. I've got a little line there. Look, let's put a little petal in there so it makes sure it's that shape. I think that's it for today. Next time we're going to get our colouring pencils and we're going to colour that in. So we're going to make it look really bright and colourful. So I'll see you in the next one, and I hope everybody's having a lovely week and staying safe, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye.